Alright, Shalom, double honors to the apostles of GMS. Watch your brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright, like you've been seeing out there in the news and all of that, man. Alright, things is popping off, of which would probably be needful to bring out an article about what's happening out there, because these elites, man, they've been, preparing for a major false flag event, alright, and they've been putting that whole thing together. And you got it to where now that manifested last night, all right? Of which that false flag event, which it looks hella dodgy. How the whole thing cascaded into a state where now you got it to where in the United States, Barack Obama was on, like within a couple of hours or a couple of minutes, he was already on the major news networks declaring that he's going to support France and whatever acts that has happened before. But we've seen this before, all right? We've seen what happens as a result of that, all right? We've seen how different legislation gets put in place, because the French president, he said it himself, man. We need to. He said it. He said they want to put more security, all right? This kind of security that they have out there in America, in the state, in the sense of having it to where pretty much declaring war upon their own people, man. All right, so I'll get the article up, and you can see it for yourselves, man. But pretty much, man, this thing is starting to get into its final stages, man. This is its final stages. You didn't have it to where a major a false flag event has happened out there in the EU. Now you had false flags happen out there in the US, all right. But it don't really happen like that on a major scale like that within Europe and all of that, man. But see, once with the treaties that they have between the two countries, all right, once it happens in one, they're going to follow through the legislation on the other. That's why you got it to where you got a high, what they know as they're on high alert in these different traveling facilities, man. Whether it be airports, trains, and so on and so forth, they're on high alert all over there. Why? Because they're all under the same B system, and they all follow each other, right, in order to achieve the same agenda. Really, to bring through that new world order. And as Albert Pike said it, when you read the letter for yourself, man, right, that was always going to be set up to where they was going to blame it on the Muslims out there, man. And what's happening out there in France? Exactly the same thing, man. All right. So let me get into this article right quick. This is from a page called Schubert. Right, it says an entire multitude of Frenchmen enraged at the Islamic slaughter of French people enter Muslim refugee camp and set the whole place on fire. So after what happened last night, they had it to where this so-called anti-refugee thing that they had out there, the group of people there, or whatever you want to call it, organization, all right, that they went out there, right, and pretty much they set them refugee camps on fire, man. All right, but you already got it to where you got 1,500 troops out there on French soil, right? Pretty much in a state of martial law, man. They're in a state of martial law, and you got it to where they've set up French Edomites going up against them refugees that came over there by way of the thing that's happening in Syria out there, man. So it all smells dodgy, man. The whole thing smells dodgy, man. Because I guarantee you that something like that wouldn't have happened if Russia didn't go up into Syria, man. Right, but now you had it to where Russia went up into Syria, right? And Russia was pretty much Russia went in there and they was taking out targets, man. But you have to remember about them targets. Those are American assets, right? Because all the whole ISIS thing, right? That was all set up by the American government, man. That was set up by the CIA, man. All right. And that's why they had the term. That's why they had it to. You had what they call as moderate terrorists, man. Moderate terrorists are nothing but mercenaries that the American government has paid off to fulfill a particular agenda. But now you had it to where those moderate terrorists, right, which are mercenaries, right, American assets, right, were getting getting the hell bombed out of them by them Russians, right? You had it to where America has to retaliate, and that could have been the amalgamation of that. What you got out there happening in France out there, and as you saw what happened out there when Gaddafi was in power, right? When Saddam Hussein was in power, they set up a major false flag event. When you take the example of Saddam Hussein, right? They set up the greatest of all false flags, of which pretty much everybody on the earth right now knows that was a lie. Right? Everyone's awake to that fact that was what you know as a false flag, all right, to take away the American people's rights. All right, everybody knows that. Right, but when you're having it out there, you're having the same thing happen again, man. See, these elites follow particular patterns, routines, man. All right? They do the same thing over and over again. They want to take down Syria. Okay, they're going to set up something that's related to Syria. And I've been saying it for the longest time. They was going to use these refugees, right, as a catalyst to go out and roll out into there in Syria. But who you go out there in Syria, man? You got the Russian military out there, right? Pretty much back in the was it Mossad? They're pretty much backing the president that's in Syria right now, all right, and they're following his agenda. So you're gonna have it to where World War III is gonna amalgamate out of this, man. So easily it could amalgamate out of this. We've already seen what they can do with a small false flag, right? And this is somewhat of a so-called major, you know, a slightly bigger false flag. Why? Because it's in Europe. Because you don't really have major European false flags like that. All right, you had it to where they dropped off like 120 people. All right, you had it happen in the concert, and here's the thing, man. They showed you that in that movie, The Rise of the Dark Knight, man. All right, they showed or The Dark Knight Rises, that movie. They showed you that they was gonna do something like that already, man. Same way you had it to where all of them, everything prior to 9/11, you had it to where the movies were coming out, and you saw the Twin Towers being destroyed and all of that. That's the same thing that had it to what happened out there in France yesterday, man. All right.
What are you actually doing, mate?
I'm bringing out the word of the Most High. Bringing out the word of God. All right. All right. Where are you from?
Essex.
You're from Essex. You believe in God?
I don't know, really.
All right. Oh yeah. We're in the time when when the man you know is God is going to send His Son, right? Which you know in His Christian churches is Jesus, and He's going to redeem His people. All right, that's what you're seeing.
Why have you got this camera set up?
I've got the camera set up so I can upload it when I get home tonight.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I'm in a position to challenge you what you're doing because you're doing it public.
Oh yeah. By all means, you can ask me any questions you want.
Yeah. Because I don't know if this is in bad taste, bro.
Sorry.
I don't know if all this is in bad taste. You know?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not in bad taste. No, we don't roll like that.
Thinking, man, gets a bit paranoid.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that, man. You know, I got the Bible there with me. You know,
Right outside the fucking prime location.
Hey, you're not gonna record something like this, and then don't even worry about it, man. Don't even worry about it. I know what you mean. People do that, but this is not the first time this is happening. We've been doing this since friggin' Twin Towers. Imagine how we would have felt then. A lot of the people that were I know what you're saying, but a lot of the people that was doing this, right, preaching the words, right, we was deemed as terrorists at the same time as when the Twin Towers came. They look at the Bible right there, man. All right. Oh, that's you're a bit invasive right now, but
You said look at the Bible.
that's the Bible. That's the Bible. That's not Bible,
You
man.
didn't give me that, did you? You didn't give me that. You didn't say look at the Bible.
All right,
I thought
man.
that was the Bible.
That's all right, man. All right, man. You're not an undercover, are you? All right, because you're kind of rolling like an undercover right now,
No,
man.
but I think it's the same, bro. It's in bad taste.
Sorry?
I'm surprised I ain't moved you on because I think it's in bad taste.
You're surprised I haven't?
The police haven't moved you on.
It's because they know I do this all the time, man. The police know us, man.
You do it all the time,
Yeah, man. The police know me, man. They got me on record, man. No, look, this is neither here nor there. Like I said, I'm here to preach the word of the Most High. If you ain't here to listen about the word of the Most High, I haven't got nothing for you, bro. All right. If you don't want to, if you don't want to know what's happening according to the scriptures
No, but I'm just trying
and what's
to
going to
verify
happen,
you're a devout Christian, right? So,
I'm not a Christian. The Christians ain't got the truth. The Christians won't tell you what's happening out there, how what's happening out there in Syria with Russia and America, how that all links up with the scriptures. They ain't gonna tell you that. Do you know why? Do you know why the Christians ain't gonna tell you that? Because they're all underneath the banner, right, of the Roman Catholic Church. All right, and the Roman Catholic Church is under the banner of the so-called New World Order. Namely, you got America, which is the military side of it. That's why they're out there in Russia. All right, you got the monetary system, which is run by England out there, starting off with the so-called Bank of England and so on and so forth. That set up all kind of different You know about the Rothschilds, right? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all that. See, you came like you was learned, right? But the Rothschilds, they're the English denomination, right, of the elite banking families, right? The so-called Jews that set up central banks all over the world, all right? And those central banks perpetuate this monetary system that you got out there of debt.
Where did you get educated? Did you get educated here?
I didn't get educated. I got educated by the same people that taught me about this book, man. All right. All you gotta do is it's all on the internet. You can find anything on the internet. Find it on the internet.
What would I look at?
Look for the Great Millstone.
Great Millstone.
Great Millstone. The Great Millstone.
What is that?
It's just a title. That's just the title of the men, right? The Lord set up to push this word. That's it. Great Millstone. Yeah. But like I was saying, the Roman Catholic Church, right? When you go into the Book of Revelations, I think it's around about the 14th chapter, it tells you about the beast, right? Which is the whole Roman system, right? But it also talks about like I saw three unclean spirits come out of her like frogs, right? Those unclean spirits, right, was representative of the Roman Catholic Church, because they spew out all of that, the uncleanness out of the world. So from the Roman Catholic Church, ironically, you get Christianity come out of there, but also you get what you know is the religion of Islam comes out of the Roman Catholic Church. That all comes.
So lost me. I thought Christianity was Christianity.
No. See, when you go into the scriptures, it talks about Israelites, the Edomites, the Ammonites, all right, the Japhites, the Ishmaelites, and so on and so forth. 18 different nations, right, that were set forth in their own lots, in different places. This whole book is a history book about the Israelites. All right. Now they were called Christians when the Lord came on the scene because they followed Christ. It was actually a derogatory term.
Yeah, but nowadays, if you say I'm a Christian, it doesn't matter where you emanate from.
Well, it does matter. It does matter. It doesn't matter to the people of the world.
Believed in the Bible.
It doesn't matter to the people of the world, but it does matter to the Lord. See, when you go into the scriptures like Romans, the 9th chapter, around about the 9th verse, where it talks about it's not all of Israel that are of Israel, right? Lets you know that even within his elected group of people, he doesn't even deal with them. Furthermore, when you go to scriptures like John 3:16, that's a favorite scripture about the Christians follow, right? Which is all about inclusiveness. You can really go into it and what the words in there mean, namely the word world. The word world there actually is not an inclusive term. All right, man. All right. But like I was saying, man, just to finish off the point, the word world there within the book of John 3:16 is not an inclusive term. It's actually an exclusive term. All right, in that you was gonna have it to where the Lord was gonna save the remnant of His people, right? Hence, not all of Israel are of Israel. All right, He was gonna have it to where the Lord was gonna have it to where He's gonna save the elected group of His people. All right, which are the men that you see out here that's gonna be out here in season, out of season, right? And, you know, he said something that really I wasn't even thinking about, that, you know, it's going to be in bad taste to have this happening. But look, man, the elders already did that, man. All right, see, when you take up the banner of being in this truth, and you're saying double honors to the elders and so on and so forth, it's going to come with certain consequences, man. All right, and the book of Matthew, the 13th chapter tells you that you're going to be, you know, you're going to be deemed as the bad guy up until the point the Lord returns, man. And that's why when you go into the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter on the 1st verse, the people of this world, not only the people that you have it to where, not only the Israelites, all right, but also all the people on the earth, they're gonna be amazed at the strangeness of the salvation of the people of the Most High, man. Right? They're gonna be amazed at the fact that the Lord's gonna send His chariots, right, which you know is so-called UFOs. He's gonna send those chariots, right, to actually redeem His people. See, you've been led to believe that, right, all of them UFOs and so on and so forth are something not to be, something not to be recognized. But really, the Lord deals with those, right, because those are the vessels which He travels with. All right. When you go into the book of Acts, right, and you saw the apostles, they marveled. They marveled at the fact that the Lord, right, was risen up in that fashion. Right, that He went up into the sky in that fashion, man. But what did the angel say to him? Say, marvel not, because in the same way as He left, that's the same fashion He was going to come back in, man. he was going to come back in that same fashion, in the sense that he was going to come with those chariots, and you read about that in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, man. Right, that book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. That's a bad book, man. Of which, you know, if the spirit permits, I might get into that. But I'm gonna get back to this article in there. But to stay on the point, that book of 2nd Ezra pretty much tells you what you saw in that movie. What is it, with Will Smith, right? And they had it. You pretty much, you search out the Will Smith. I think it must have been Independence Day. All right, the movie Independence Day shows you pretty much what exact 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter was. But see, what's going to be different when the Lord does it, right, to what the movie showed you, is that you ain't going to prevail against that. All right, and prior presidents to the president, the idiot that you got out there in the presidential house, right? Prior to that, you had it to where there was an account. I forget what president he was, but he said pretty much they might be an account, right, to where all the forces that are on the earth are going to have to unify and fight against an extraterrestrial being, man. What do you think they was talking about? Right, see, if they derive all of their so-called movies and so on and so forth from the scriptures, that you know that these elites tried to get into the scriptures, and they can only see it from a so-called chronological, right, event, a chronological point of view, because they're not spiritual, right? The Most High has only imparted the understanding of the scriptures to the men of the Lord. That's why we know we're going to prevail against that, because we understand that this is actually a spiritual battle, not a battle that's going to be won with fists and swords and guns, man. Right, see, the power that the Most High is going to be impart upon the men of the Lord is going to be on a higher level, so far beyond the people, what these people are used to, man. Right, the Lord says he's going to turn Israel into a new threshing instrument, man. All right. So, hey, these elites, they ain't going to prosper in their agenda to set up their so-called new world order and all of that. They ain't going to prosper in that. In fact, the scripture, when you go into Job 20th chapter, it says when he's about to fill his belly. All right, when he's in the process of filling his belly, pretty much he's gonna have it to where the Most High is gonna have it to where he's gonna be in difficulties, man. He's gonna be in straits. All right, so you know, let me get back into this, man. All right. So getting back into this article, it says so fire has reportedly broken out, right, as the jungle refugee camp in the port of Calais hours following the terror attacks in Paris, man. So that's what happened, all right? And when that's let me think about, man, right, that's letting me think about what it talks about in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, which I'll probably touch on now, man, all right? And I might get back into the article and that, but pretty much what you had it to where it happened, you had it to where two manner of people, two different nations were gonna rise. Pretty much they rose up against each other, man. All right, now we know, because we know ultimately that's because the Lord set that up, right, to where the elites, right, had it to where that whole thing was a setup. All right, that whole thing was a setup because we know how the elites roll, but really that was just a fulfillment of what it says in the scriptures, right, of which I'm about to get right now. All right. All right, so this is in the book of right, so this is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter and the first verse. Right, and I'm gonna read the whole thing on down. All right, and then I'll get into some other things. So this is 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter and the first verse. It says, "Speak thou in the ears of my people the words, right, which I will write in thy mouth, saith the Lord." So what you're supposed to be doing right now in the times that we're living in, right? If you're in the know, you're supposed to be pushing the word of the Lord, man. All right. When you go into the scriptures, it talks about that, man. Part of our laws and our customs is what we're going to teach our people, man. Right. That's why when you say when the Lord came on the scene, he was renowned as saying, pretty much, love thy neighbor, because pretty much in that statement, when you go into 2 John 1:6, love is the fulfillment of the law. So in loving your neighbor, really, right, you fulfill the law. Meaning to say, if that guy goes off, right, you deal with him in according to the scriptures. That's love, not no emotional feeling that you have towards that person. Hey, in another sense, if a guy is going off and he's in the camp, to kick him out is to show him love, man, or to curse him out, that's just to show him love, because that's the fulfillment of the scriptures. All right. But hey, but when you go into Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter and is the 13th verse, here's the conclusion: the whole matter fit the Most High, follow His commandments. What was one of those commandments that they gave us? To go through the midst of the city, the midst of Jerusalem, setting a mark upon the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that are done in the midst thereof, man. And you're seeing the amalgamation of all of that iniquity, all of that wickedness, right, that Esau's been doing throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Right, raping, robbing all of those different, all of those different countries, man. Walking in great pride. The Lord is beginning to take that power away from them, and that's what you're supposed to be speaking about. That's the manner of speech, like it says in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, man. Right, hastening in the day, looking for and hastening unto the coming day of the Lord. Right, in all holy conversation. A holy conversation is speaking about the destruction of this kingdom, and that holy conversation could also allude to the fact that you're supposed to be doing videos and pushing videos, right? And you ain't gotta just do a video, all right? You don't have to, there's other ways of pushing this truth. You could be, you could find the articles out there, pass them around, right? Because not everybody, the scripture talks about the body and how different parts of the body fulfill different functions. You could be the guy that finds the information and the Most High will impart it on another dude, right? For the Spirit to jump on them, right? And they're gonna have it to where they're gonna put the video together, man. Or you could be the guy that finds different, article-based videos and just re-upload them. You got your guys out there. See, what this whole thing is about, this whole brotherhood that the Most High set up is about pushing the destruction of this society, pushing the upliftment of our people, man. All right? It ain't about no folly, man. Like you got it in this society where you got folly set up in great dignity, man. But see, the Most High is watching all of that folly, which perpetuates around wickedness. And like it's going to say here in the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, on the 8th verse, right? He's going to destroy you for the